Bitch, I'm God, I'm the Alpha and Omega, I'm the ancient of the days, I'm the Rahman Rahim, and you don't know where I come, you don't know from where I came, all you know is I am one with many aspects, different names, then one day the thought formed into a word inside my brain, then I said let it be, then next thing I heard a bang, then I split up into infinite dimensions with a chain, now we're all interlinked, we are all one and the same.
I'm getting involved with people, and they're like, "Oh, what song did you do?" And I'm like, "Oh, well, I did that. You don't got a clue." And for some people, it was like the dopest shit that I could have said. And some people were like, "Damn, I don't think you know what that means," because of what it meant to him, right? And what the people that were on the end understood that song meant. Later I realized what that meant, and it was profound, right? It was that separation of of himself and this other party.
Yeah.
So at what point did you start working with Nipsey, I should say?
Right. So it was, man, and I think I speak to all the producers out there that are like kind of trying to figure out, what to do with their production, or like what kind of lane, or like how to go about it, how to get a placement. Man, just send your beats out. There's so many artists out there, so many dope artists that you may not know what's going on, but they're hungry for beats. And I know sometimes, as producers, especially, the game tips at you crazy. You get a lot of situations where you get yourself into, and it kind of chips at your demeanor, and you're like, damn, what am I really doing this for? All I can say is don't stop, because I was at that same spot. I was right there, trying to figure out who do I send my beats to. And I ended up sending them to bro, because he was like, yo, producers, fuck with me. I'm in the studio, send me beats. And it was just like, I don't even know who I had sent beats. I was just putting packs together and sending them to whomever, right? Like, my friends were like, yo, like this artist is looking for beats. And this is when, Twitter was hot for this kind of shit. People were looking for beats. So I was like, yo, I sent them some beats. And shit, bro, like December 21st, the day it came out, people started texting me like, yo, you're on that nip. And I was like, nah. And I went to Hot New Hip Hop, and I went through the songs, and I was like, yo, like, you could hear right at the top, because you could hear the Get Money Boys tag, which was a production crew that I had put together very early on, and you could hear the Get Money Boys tag, and I'm like, yo, that's crazy, like, this is wild. I'm just a dude making beats, and got off a beat to one of the dopest artists through the internet, right? Like, that don't even seem like much, because we do so much with communication, and the internet and applications, and this whole new wave of how we're able to kind of interact with each other. But around that time, it was kind of big for me. It was being able to reach places that you don't think you could reach. Like, I mean, where was I gonna go find Nip? How was I even gonna be able to connect with them? And I think that's still truth to power now. So that was really the first time that we worked together, and some time passed. I ended up actually having to go on house arrest for just some stupid young kid shit that I was doing, and but it was wild, because you don't got a clue was out, and like this whole shit was out, and I'm like, yo, like I need to be in the mix, right? So I remember as soon as my house arrest was out, I hit up Nip like, yo, let me pull up, like what's good? And actually, I think it was maybe a week or a couple of weeks later, he's like, yo, Wizzo was popping, like, was good. At this time I had just been sending everything I could, and he's like, yo, pull up, I need an engineer, like, can you handle it? And I'm like, of course. And I just pulled up, and I didn't stop pulling up regardless of the situation thereafter.
Dope. Now, I want to get back to You Don't Have a Clue real quick, because a lot of people see it as a diss song. I look at it as more like defending itself song, like kind of just defending his worth and defending who he is. But a lot of people out here, I'm not going to make you say it unless you want to, say that was directed toward Big U in that situation. And a lot of other people said that he gave some a little bit of noise to Wack 100 too, keeping it 100 when 100 don't keep it true. Just talk about that, creating that record, and then knowing kind of the significance behind that. And how did you take it? Did you take it as a diss record, or kind of Nip defending yourself?
You know, it's a super touchy subject, and it's definitely not my position to kind of express, you know, what I think, but I can tell you what the reaction was. You know, the
Yeah.
reaction when I was kind of going around, and it's clear, right? If you know, you know, it's very clear. But without making any deductions, you know, I didn't know. You know, I didn't know what this was about, and but I could tell who, I could tell that it was being directed at somebody, right?
Mhm.
And by also going around the hood and just, you know, I was excited. You know, I was working with Deb. We had a bunch of different shit coming up. You know, there was a lot of things that we were gonna do together. So I was just going, you know, and not only that, but as a producer, I was trying to keep leveraging myself, my brand, just based on the idealism and the things that, you know, that I was learning not only off of Nip, but the whole team. You know, like it was really about, you know, building up a brand. So I was like, yo, this is my brand. My brand is Wizzo. Like, this is what I've been doing. You know, I'm getting the cracking with Nip. Nip is the bro. We built up a really good relationship. I produce, you don't got a clue. And like I said, to some people, that was like, whoa, like damn, like, are you for real? Like, do you even know what that means, right? And I was like, you know, this was like very early on, and I was like, oh shit, you know, and then people started giving their opinion to me. They're like, you know, that sounds like he's talking to Big U. It sounds like, you know, he's talking to so and so. And you know, after I went back, I could see that he was talking to somebody, and I could see that. And you know, the more I started paying attention now thereafter, when I would tell people what the song was, I could see that it had caused, like, you know, static, and that there was a division at the time. You know, there was those that really were with Nip and what he was saying, because, you know, if you listen to the words, and if you kind of try to apply them to yourself, they make sense. They make a
Mhm.
lot of sense.
Mhm.
So why would you not want to do the best you can for yourself, and why would you not want to do that? You know, you need to be able to grow. You know, you can't really do what you say you were supposed to do if at every step of the process, the boat, the yacht that you're trying to build is being used to build rafts. That shit don't
Mhm.
make sense, right? So I could understand what that meant, and I think that the folks that were stepping a little bit outside of themselves and outside of the situation, they could see that too. They could see that, you know what, that this makes sense, and it went from, you know, this division, and I think they found peace. You know, I think they found, you know, a way to communicate, and I think it made them grow closer. In hindsight, you know, um, in the future, when Nip was able to reconcile these kind of emotions and these kind of situations. So I saw that it was, you know, profoundly impactful to the neighborhood at the time, because, like I said, it drew a line in the sand for a lot of folks.
Mm.
Right.
Wow.
Did you I was reading, I don't know if this is true or not. Did you work as the recording engineer and mixer for Victory Lap or no?
No, for Victory Lap, we were recording Victory Lap in like 2013, 14, bro. So um
Okay.
a lot happened since 2014 to 15. A lot of us got involved, a lot of other engineers, a lot of more recording guys got involved. Um so I was responsible for recording a couple of the songs there. I was responsible for recording Rap Niggas and Victory Lap, and also Real Big with Marsha Ambrosia. I was also responsible for a couple uh, Double Up. I was also one of the recording engineers there. But the mixing and the final mixing, the mastering, that was done by my brother Ali. He did a phenomenal job on that.
Oh yeah.
Huge. Now,
Yeah.
talk about engineering a little bit, because I'm an R&B singer, so I've been in the studio and understand the process. And one of my favorite things about the whole recording experience is laying the record down and then sitting back and watching the engineer do his thing. So how like impactful and how powerful were those sessions? Sitting there engineering Nip and then coming out and doing your magic and him kind of feeding off of you and you two feeding off each other.
You know, Nick was extremely involved in the creative process. So it was mostly kind of the other way around. You know, like Nip would do his thing. Um, you know, I mean, I would record him here and there, but most of the time, Nip would really do his thing. You know, I would come in and he would already have a verse recorded, so I would just kind of start touching it up. And really, the way that we were doing records is, you know, we would record them, we would get them together, and I would just bring them up to the point where we can listen to them and let them kind of simmer. Nip had a very different process than most people. I know, a lot of us, including myself, we get a record, we start feeling hot about it, and we start really wanting to keep finishing it, keep kind of going at it. Nip really let some of these records simmer. So for me, the dopest thing was to have a record for a long time, right? To have a beat for a long time, and knowing Nip is just simmering on it, and then one day I come in and he's like, "Hey, bro, I got some." If he's in a mood, like, you know, and I call it doing the dance, because Nip was way more qualified than a lot of artists that I've known to, like, he would just do his own thing. I set him up, make sure that his setup is always working, that it was always ready to go, that he didn't really have to do much to be able to record himself. And for me, the dopest shit was to come in and something magical happened, right? Like, that was super fucking dope to me, because I know, like, I'm not really I'm not there to define the creative workflow. I'm there to be transparent to what's already happening, and to enhance it. And
Mm-hmm.
when that point can happen, that's when I'm gonna do my shit, right? So, and if that means just being a conduit to that happening, that's what I'm there for. So I was playing a very malleable role, where, if what I needed to do was record Nip, that's what I did. If what I needed to do today was, just make sure that we were smoking blunts, rolling the best blunts, that's what I was rolling. That's what I was doing. If I needed to touch up some records, make sure that they're ready for another verse, make sure that they're ready for, sometimes we were sending over to my brothers over at 1500, and they were going to do their own thing. Or, like, if the homies of Futuristics were going to do some shit, that they got the files, or that they got the record, or whatever. So for me, the best moments were, when, I was like, oh, Nip's probably not going to record on this record, or Nip's not going to do anything to this record. And then, out of the blue, Nip just comes with something that you're like, wow, like, this speaks to me. Those are the moments that were really important to me, just because, that was really what the creative process was. I could do my shit all day, make sound record, like, that's cool. I'll make, my job is to be transparent, bro. My job is you know not to overshadow what's been done, not to overly do what's been done. My job is really to just let the artist breathe, to get myself out of the way, and remove my ego from the equation, and let people really truly hear what was supposed to be heard.